aptitude class. Is this CSC once again? Is this a CSC class? Computer science, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay, guys. Now, my name is Clement, and you will have two teachers for this course. So one is quantitative aptitude, and another one is verbal aptitude. So I will deal with verbal aptitude. Okay. So because today is the first class, I would like to give you an idea of what is this all about, why this is important to you, how this is going to benefit you. This is not like your other subjects, the core subjects, but this is entirely different. You may not have dealt with this subject with this type of test, most probably, but some of you, if you had tried SAT examination or whatever, you would have gone through the kind of aptitude test. Okay, what is aptitude? Aptitude is the inherent ability, that is already inherent. Okay, so our ability, this aptitude will be assessed by companies to make sure that the candidate is eligible to perform duty without errors. Okay, so many companies rely on these quantitative and verbal aptitude, logical reasoning tests to make students eligible. In order to go ahead with the interview process, the company expects the students to clear guys, give me 1 minute. Okay, I have some sore throat, so I need to drink some hot water. Okay, let me continue now. So the companies rely on these tests to test you whether you will be able to clear these tests. It's mandatory. It's not only the private sector. Even the public sector companies, like government companies, rely on all these tests. So you talk about UPSC or any state public commission programs, tests, you need to clear verbal aptitude, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, so many other things which are mandatory. Okay, and only when you clear, you will be able to guys, give me 1 minute. There is a network issue here. 1 minute. 1 minute.
You are not allowed to share the screen.
1 minute. Right. Second semester, third semester, fourth semester, fifth semester. When you come to sixth semester, you will have a paper called employability skills, where you will not once again learn aptitude, but we will get into your personal interview skills, group discussion skills, resume preparation to make you ready for your final year. This paper has 1 credit this semester. So the code is 18PDH101T. Now let me give you some idea of what is this all about. An aptitude test is a structured assessment that aims to evaluate. So there are two important keywords that you must know. One is the assessment. The candidates are assessed. The candidates are assessed. That's point number one. Point number two is evaluation of job candidates. I will remove job to evaluate candidates' talent. Okay, so any company will not be able to recruit any candidate without testing their skills to perform the responsibilities properly without errors. Am I right? If you run a company, your father may have a company. You don't want to recruit a person without any knowledge and skills. Am I right? Otherwise, every investment that you make in that business, you will incur loss. Right? We need smart people. We want people who will do the work properly with dedication, commitment. Not only that, smart work, knowledgeable work. Am I right? Otherwise, things will be a waste. So they evaluate, assess you in order to understand whether you will be the right person. What about this verbal reasoning? What are we going to deal with? Verbal reasoning tests are designed to identify whether or not the candidate understands the written information and passage of the text. Okay. Whether it's a passage or it is just only information, right? When it comes to verbal reasoning, it will test your English skills, but in a different way. And whenever we talk about verbal aptitude, we deal with three things here. Number one, grammar. Okay. Number two, reasoning. Number three, vocabulary. Right? Grammar, reasoning, vocabulary. When we talk about grammar, in most of the examinations, government examinations, private examinations, when it comes to verbal aptitude, they have questions like spotting the error in the given sentences. Spotting errors is the most important skill. It requires grammar, right? That's what we are going to deal with in all these papers. And in the advanced level is sentence correction. Spotting errors, advanced level is sentence correction, which we will teach you in the next semester. Second one is reasoning. We have critical reasoning skills. If you are interested in taking up GRE, graduate record examinations, many CSE students prefer doing GRE because they want to get an admission in some American university. During this COVID problem, I don't know how feasible it is for those students, but at least when you guys come to final year and then you try for this abroad admissions for your higher studies, GRE will be required. As far as GRE is concerned, the toughest part of GRE is the verbal part because of the reading comprehension exercises. It's not easy reading comprehension exercises. It will be more of critical reasoning exercises. You understand a passage, then you think about it critically, logically. The questions themselves will be entirely different from the regular reading comprehension skills. Number three is vocabulary. Okay. Number 3 is vocabulary. So very important thing in verbal aptitude is vocabulary. Not only for the sake of examination, vocabulary is necessary for many other things. Am I right? Um, in order to speak effectively, we need vocabulary. We always come across people when they try to communicate to us, they search for words, the right words to communicate their ideas, express their feelings. Correct? So many a time we lack the right word to say something effectively. Not only just English, in any other language you can take it. Right? Big, good speakers, famous speakers are renowned because the vocabulary skills that they have is something amazing. Correct? We admire some speakers. We keep listening to some speakers. The reason is that their vocabulary skills are amazing, right? So in the same, when you write an email, when you write a short story, when you write an article, what is important? Not only the grammar knowledge, but also the vocabulary. Many people do not have this vocabulary. Do you know why we don't have this vocabulary? Unless we start reading a lot, we will not pick vocabulary. There are no shortcuts in picking words. Okay, just opening a dictionary, uh, then start memorizing words will not help. Okay, I may remember 1 or 2 words today, but tomorrow I will forget all the words. So vocabulary is very important. You guys, some of you will have the habit of reading a lot, fiction, newspapers, articles, or whatever. But everyone should, if at all you want to really improve your vocabulary and language skills, reading. There is no compromise on reading, right? So please read a lot. Guys, do I make sense? Guys, do I make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Hardik and Arshi. Thank you. Okay, because otherwise, because we don't meet face to face, talking through this platform, online platform, is like talking to the computer sometimes. So, thanks for your responses. Okay, guys. So keep these 3 in mind when you think about verbal aptitude. It's grammar, it's reasoning, it's vocabulary. Okay. Now, I thought I would bring some vocabulary for you today here. Look at the screen now. I hope font size is fine. Okay. If you look at these words, some of the words may look familiar. Some of the words may not be familiar at all. Am I right? I don't know how many of you will be able to tell me the meaning without referring to a dictionary, just by looking at these words. Anyone? Do you know any of these words? Can you give me the meaning? Even if you know one word, No, not at all.
Sir, I know ambivalent.
Ambivalent. Okay, Arushi, what's the meaning of ambivalent?
Sir, it kind of means a contradiction between
Exactly.
something.
It is ambivalent is mixed feelings,
Yes.
mixed ideas, something like that. I'm not able to get the right one. Right, you are right, you are right. What you understood is correct. Ambivalent is that, mixed feeling. Okay. Anything else? Anybody has come across any other word?
So
Okay.
erudite probably means learned.
Very good. Learned. Very good. You are right, sir. Learned. Erudite means learned. Very good. Any other word? I'm sure you guys would have come across the word prolific.
Sir,
Yeah.
Ephemeral, I've read somewhere and I think it relates to time or something, but I'm not sure what exactly it
Which
means.
one? Which one, miss? Which one?
Ephemeral.
Ephemeral. Okay, you are right. It is related to time. It is related to time.
Yes, sir.
It is related to time, and but you don't know the exact meaning, right?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Good. But it is related to time. Good. Okay. So I think these words actually shock you. Am I right? So you are wondering, sir, are these the words that you are going to deal with? Yeah, some of the words are going to be like this. Um, Sometimes the companies, especially G or E, okay, when we deal with this verbal aptitude, we will not only help you to clear your campus placement examinations, but also we will train you to a certain extent to clear in case you are interested in clearing GRE and abroad admissions. Of course, all these things you need to know, no choice. As I told you, GRE consists of tough verbal portions. One is vocabulary. So all the words that you actually see on the screen is some of the frequently asked words in GRE. And let me tell you guys, this word is not actually so difficult to corroborate. This is a common word used in many newspapers. And the prolific also is not a very difficult word, right? But I don't know how come you missed that thing. So why I'm saying this, see, I want to tell you, I start reading Hindu newspaper. If you read the Times of India and things like that, you will not pick vocabulary.
Sir, when we read economic times, then prolific word comes there sometimes.
You are right. You are right. You are right. Correct. You need to. You are right, Surabhi. You need to read such papers, Economic Times. I think even Hindustan Times is okay. I think even Hindustan Times is okay. Where you come across many of these words. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, sir, sure.
I need to drink some hot water because of my sore throat today.
You should get tested.
I will get. Okay, right. Let's continue, guys. Okay. But now, I have one technique. Usually, I follow that technique in order to remember the words. Okay. If I give you the meanings now to you, okay. Next class, next week, when we come back, when I ask you these words, some of you will be able to give me the meaning, but many of you will totally forget it and say, yeah, I know this word, but I don't know the meaning, because that's how our brain works. It does not have the capacity to keep all the words in the brain all the time, because new words replace the old words most of the time. We know the basic words of English, but words like this, we don't use it in our regular language. This, you guys would have seen this Shashi Tharoor's tweets.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, and please don't read those tweets. We don't need such words. You understand? We write and we speak to make people understand. I'm not sure whether really Shashi Tharoor is trying to show off his learned skills or whatever. But when you read his tweets, you don't understand much. You need a dictionary and
So maybe it
whatever.
comes to him naturally, he's not trying to show off. It's just what he's learned.
But Arushi, if I have to speak to you, right, and if I
Yes.
use all these words that you guys don't understand, and at the end
Yes,
of
sir. It does not fulfill, the basic need of communication because the other person might not get what you're trying to say. But at
exactly,
the same time, he can't help it because he's just used to use these words.
I don't think so, Arushi. You can control your words. Am I right? When I am talking to my students, I know what words I need to use. When I talk to a school kid, a 5-year-old kid, maybe he has all this knowledge, but I think he's. Does he? Have you heard him speak anytime? Does he use
Yes,
such
sir. I've
words?
seen some of his speeches, sir. So it just goes around the head, doesn't you can't
Okay.
understand a single thing which he says.
Okay, in India, we so many millions and millions of people, and we people who are educated, we listen to him, and then at the end of his session, end of his lecture, we don't understand what he was trying to communicate. Then I don't think the real purpose of communication is lost. Am I right? So we
Yes.
really want to know at the end. I must understand. What is communication? Communication is all about. I am not against Sashi Tharoor. Let him show off in whatever way he wants, but that's not the deal here. But what I'm trying to say is, when we try to communicate, let me make sure my listeners understand me. At the end of this session, when your parents come and ask you, hey, second semester has started, what happened today? So you say, Clement sir came, he talked about vocabulary. What else did he speak? I don't know. He just kept talking, but we couldn't understand anything. Your parents would call me and say, hello, Mr. Clement, what are you trying to do? Am I right? So let's also consider. I'm not against Sashi Tharoor. Let him show off because that's his knowledge. Let him show his knowledge off to the world. It's okay. But let's see here. I have a technique to remember these words. Okay. Don't think I am a great person with lakhs and lakhs of words in my mind. No, I come across a lot of words because I am much older than you. So I read a lot and I come across, but I don't remember the exact meaning of words many a time. Okay. So when I came across these words and I picked them from GRE vocabulary, then I created an imaginary story like this. Okay. I created an imaginary story like this. I want one of you to read this louder. Any volunteer? Okay. Can someone, one of you read this loud in the class? Okay, I will call you, right? Otherwise, it feels like I speak alone to myself, right? Ayushi? Hello, Ayushi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ayushi. Can you read what you see on the screen?
Yes, sir. Dr. John Patrick was an erudite scholar and a prolific writer. He was more interested in reading the extant documents about the pyramids in Egypt. In spite of his intelligence, his lectures were always soporific, according to his students. Moreover, his capricious behavior always puzzled his colleagues, and people did not want to get close to him due to his confrontational nature. Some loved him, some hated him, and a few were ambivalent about him. However, his wife was a loquacious woman who was known as a pragmatic person. Sadly, his fame was ephemeral as he was charged with corruption, but none could corroborate the allegation.
Okay, very good. Very good. Guys, now, in the previous slide, all these words are given in isolation. In the next slide, I have created my own imaginary story. There is nothing exciting about it, but I just wanted to keep these words in my memory. Now, looking at the context, will you be able to guess the meaning of the word? So already, I think, who said? Hardik said erudite is learned. Is that Hardik?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Okay, somebody else. Okay, someone else said that. Erudite, learned. So already the meaning was conveyed there. So from the context, we understand John Patrick was a learned person. Erudite means learned person. So prolific writer. Any guesses of meaning? Okay, prolific actually refers to a person who is extremely creative. Okay, who is a creative person? A creative person is one who does not compose just one song. I am just taking only one skill. Okay, creativity can be in any field. I am talking about a songwriter. If you write only one song and then you think you are creative, no, you are not. Because by the time you try to write your second song, things are gone. But some people are able to come out with a lot of great songs, music composers, right? These are the people who are really creative. Okay, artists. Sometimes we admire those people who are prolific. Am I right? The music composers, the songwriters, the artists in any field that you take up. So such people, such a quality is called prolific. So when you say prolific writer, he's a creative writer who produces the particular thing in large numbers. Not just one song, two songs. He writes thousands of songs, hundreds of songs. Correct. That quality is called prolific. So now you understand. Dr. John Patrick is an erudite person, very learned, prolific, very creative. And then he was more interested in reading the extant documents. Check the spelling. It is not E-N-T, it is A-N-T. About the pyramids of Egypt. Extant means still existing. Extant monuments. Things are the monuments that are of old but still existing. Okay, so extant means still existing. And in spite of his intelligence, his lectures were always soporific. Soporific. Any guesses here? According to his, from the context, can you guess the meaning of the word soporific? In spite of,
Not interesting.
Not interesting.
Boring.
Or boring. Exactly. Boring or sleep inducing. So this is a new word for all of you. Or usually lectures or soporific. Am I right? When I was in college, especially after lunch session, things were always graveyard sessions. Am I right? Whoever comes, whether it was an intelligent person or a boring person, this after lunch session is called graveyard session. At least now you guys are at the comfort of your home. Even if you want to sleep, you sleep sometimes, you lie down on your bed or whatever. But if you come to campus, that's not the privilege given to you. So during the lecture, many students actually feel so drowsy due to the nature of lecture, and soporific is sleep inducing. Okay, so when you put the words along with the context, you guys understand and remember it better. So at the end of this slide, I will call the names individually and ask you for the meanings of the words. Okay, so listen to me carefully. Moreover, his capricious behavior always puzzled his colleagues, and people did not want to get close to him due to his confrontational nature. Capricious behavior means unsteady, unstable, not in the right mind all the time. We come across many people like that these days. Am I right? People whose moods are not steady. It is changing according to the time, according to situations. Okay, so capricious is unsteady, unstable. You can even say today the weather is capricious, means all of a sudden it is sunny, all of a sudden it rains and it becomes cloudy. So you can say the weather today is capricious. Here we are talking about John Patrick's behavior. his unsteady nature. That's why some loved him, some hated him, and a few were ambivalent about him. So already Arushi gave the meaning for that. Ambivalent, mixed feelings. You are not able to decide